Happy Friday! Woo! We are in LA today. We have got our godmother, Marion from LA here today.
So it's 6 o'clock in the morning, my time.
I know.
Sorry to get you out of bed.
Yeah, I know. And we were trying to find a time, weren't we? When we were asking Marion that like suits you, and then also we could do it for the school run as well. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. So we were talking, weren't we, just earlier that we came out to see you, and we can't believe how long ago it was. It was like 8 or 10 years ago.
Like we were trying 10 years ago.
I think it was about eight or 10 years ago. Yeah, we went, saw the sights and the nightlife, and we went sailing. There's always so much to do here in LA. That's the thing, and the weather mostly is really great, of course. And like you probably remember, we had a great sailing day. Before you went off to the airport.
I know. And you took us to Universal. We had
a rock concert.
What was it? A kerrang, like heavy metal band. You took us to.
Oh, that's right. Yes, my friend Susan. We went with. It was friends of hers. We went to that club, and that was hilarious. That was so funny. Heavy metal band. And I think you guys enjoyed Universal as well, going on all the rides and stuff.
We got on VIP. We felt like celebrities.
Oh, it was amazing, and that was definitely pre-kids because it is just like so nice.
A stand-up sketch. Didn't you do a stand-up sketch, Marian, at the comedy club?
You crammed a lot in those few days. That's for sure.
I know, it was so good. So, Marion, we just want to hear like your story of how you got to LA, because you are like best friends with my mum, aren't you? And
right.
You both went to performing arts school together when you were younger. So can you tell us a little bit about what you used to do and
what jobs did you used to do?
Yeah, and what took you to LA, baby?
Well, I met your mum. We were with the same agency, and we were doing acting, and dancing and what have you. And that's how I met her. And we worked on several, jobs together as well. And so sort of back in the day, we were always sort of running into each other. So we became, really good friends as a result of that. And so yeah, we used to have a lot of fun as well, because it was, there were some great places to go dancing and go out on the town in London and everything. I don't know what it's like now, but it was a lot of fun in those days. So so that was cool. And then I got into the fitness industry as a trainer, and I started to do lots of other things with classes, and was doing the aerobic scene, with the in the 80s, and then I was offered a position over here in the US, and I was in Colorado for a while, and then I had friends and people I knew here, and came to LA, and then I haven't really stopped, because once you get here, once you kind of get into a business and you're working, it's hard to take time off, actually. So you just keep going and going. It's a bit like being on a treadmill, to be quite honest with you. But to be successful here, that's kind of what it takes. It's a lot of hard work, but it's kind of worth it, I have to say. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I also have like the pet sitting business as well. And again, some of my clients with the pets and with fitness, I've been training them, for like over 20 years, like 20 years or so. So, that's it's amazing to have customers stay with you that long.
That's amazing.
So I think they like me.
You're doing all right.
Yeah, well, we love you. And you've got such an amazing personality. You're so young at heart, whatever you do. Like, you've just never stopped. Like, when we came out to see you, you're like, yeah, I'm now like a professional sailor, like, and you've just never stopped learning and doing new things, and you're really inspirational in that way. Like,
I think that's kind of I think that's also the sentiment here, because people are very much that way. And even a couple of my clients are golfers, and one is like 82 years old. And, he comes in twice a week religiously, does his Pilates sessions. And, I tailor make them for his sort of generation, but he can pretty much do anything. He's been with me for like nearly 20 years. And people want to stay young and fit and healthy here. And he still plays his golf every week. And, that it's kind of what people do, or they're always learning new things. Recently, I hadn't really been into line dancing, but I recently sort of got into that. So, and it's really fun. So it's something new, something new to do just for fun, really. And yeah, so it's always something new here, and even with but I can remember there was a time when there was a thing where so you had like a swimsuit on, and they would put this sort of stuff all over your body, and you put on this sort of like a wetsuit type thing and walk around in it for half an hour, and it would help you lose weight. I mean, it was kind of like a fad, but there was about 5 of us. We did it. This lady was painting us with this stuff with, I think it was a mixture of green tea and all kinds of stuff. And we're walking around like zombies in these suits. But it's just kind of fun. I mean, I don't know. I think you just put the weight on again, as soon as you have a drink of water afterwards. But it's like, it's always something new and interesting. And even if it sounds a bit crazy, I think that's kind of just the sentiment here, So it's, but at the moment for me, it's learning these line dances, which is kind of fun.
It's so good for your brain, line dancing. And also you've got dancing as a background with Mum.
Right.
Mum has told us so many funny stories, by the way, of like you girls going up on stage and then like just making dances up on the spot. And
weren't you or was it just Mum that she was on Ozzy Osbourne's private jet that went over and did the dance?
Yeah, that was actually we went to Sicily. And there was 3 of us. We were dancing they have a big pop festival in Palermo in Sicily. So they had a lot of the bands at the time. I think one was Black Sabbath. There was a woman called Julie Driscoll and the Trinity, who was very big at the time. And so they'd hired like a private plane. There was probably about 50 or 60 of us on that plane. And it was the first time I'd actually flown, and I had my passport and everything, but I didn't tell my mum where I was going because she.
Oh my God!
So we were there for like, I think it was 4 days, and it was so much fun, and all the musicians, they were getting their guitars out and sort of having jam sessions on the plane and everything. And anyway, so we got there. I think I told my mum I was going to visit a friend in Scotland or something like that. Anyway, so we get there and we stayed in a beautiful hotel, and we danced with an Italian band. And what was really interesting is all the lights kind of at you, on the stage. And when you looked out, there was like thousands of people at this festival, but it just looked black because you couldn't see them because of the way the lighting was. It was really weird. So you're like dancing to a black wall, really, but there's thousands of people there, and it was so much fun. But on the last night, Black Sabbath were the main group, so they were on the final act, and we were getting change downstairs in the dressing rooms, and suddenly these security come in and they go, quick, we've got to go. And they ushered us out into these big black cars, and we didn't know what was going on. And we were going back to the hotel, and what it was, the audience was about to storm the stage, and they had to get tear gas out. There was no show that night because they were going crazy because of Black Sabbath. So nobody was going to be doing anything. So we go back to the hotel, and they had everyone had their doors open, and we're drinking wine and walking around and eating and talking to everybody, and it was just like a party, you know, in this hotel. But it was a shame we couldn't actually go on stage that night. Nobody could. So anyway, so we got back okay. Again, it was so much fun coming back on the plane, and I sent my mum a postcard, because in those days, if you sent a postcard, it would take about a week for it to get to where it was going. So I sent her a postcard, and then she found out afterwards when I was back. So,
I love
so luckily we got back in one piece, you know, but we did have a funny situation there. We because they had bodyguards and everything, and we were all, you know, very young and everything, and wearing sort of hot pants. So we went out for a walk ourselves, and there was a go-kart track. So, and it was sort of going up and down, and so we thought, oh, we'd do this. So we get on these go-karts, and they just let us keep going round and round and round. And we didn't realize that when we come round the bend, our skirts are kind of lifting up in the wind, and as they're sort of standing there, and we didn't really realize that. And then we came off, and then all of a sudden the security guards had found us, and they're going, come back here. And they put us in the car and take us back to the hotel. And they said, you shouldn't go out on your own here. And we just sort of disobeyed them, really. But we, you know, it was fun, and we didn't get into any bad trouble. So, you know, it was a big laugh. But they were very, you know, protective of us, actually, which was a good thing, right?
Yeah. And I suppose, like, back in the day as well, it wasn't like how it is now. They're very, like, with things like that, their security is at such a high level, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So
So,
crazy.
Marian, I've got so many things I want to talk to you. What made you go to LA, Los Angeles? I always said to Mum, why didn't you go? I always wanted to go. And we've just met a friend recently, and she's from Los Angeles, and she's living over here. And I was like, what are you doing in Croydon when you could live in Los Angeles? It's such a fun city.
Right.
So what made you go?
Well, I had a job opportunity, so that's what brought me over, and I, you know, it wasn't a situation where I was going to sort of go back again, because I had this, you know, offer of work, and I started from there, really. So, and then I just haven't stopped.
And how old are you when that happened? Because it's quite a big thing to do at such a young age.
I was very young. You know, I was very young at the time, in my mid-20s. Yeah, so it was like and I'd been over here on vacations a lot, so it was just, it seemed like the right thing, you know, to do, really. And I'd kind of done everything that I wanted to do in London, you know, with as far as the acting thing and all that, and working in entertainment. I used to also sing in a band, and I felt like I'd sort of done everything that I really wanted to do there. So it was time to, and then I got very, you know, obviously involved in the fitness industry, and which I still am. And so it just seemed the right thing, you know, to do, like, oh, you know, go somewhere new. And it wasn't the fact that I just turned up in LA. I knew people here. I'd been here on vacations and sort of built up, you know, had friends here. And I had an uncle that also lived here with his wife at the time. And so it's not like I just thought, oh, I'm going to go to LA, you know. It was all properly planned.
Yeah, so you were meant to be there. And you know, the recent thing with all the fires, did that affect you or people you knew in LA? Like,
not where I am. There, I mean, as the crow flies, like down near Malibu where you went, it's about a 45-minute drive to get there. So they had, you know, unfortunately very bad fires in that Malibu area and the Palisades. And then again, sort of about 40-minute drive going east was where the other fires were. But it's more built up where I am, as opposed to, you know, there's a lot of forests and things, and it's and people are still rebuilding there, which I can never understand, you know, like homes. I actually know of a couple of people that homes have, you know, burned down, and they're starting to rebuild. and hopefully it won't happen again. But you're very vulnerable in some of those areas.
Yeah, definitely. And they're even saying that insurances didn't cover them or anything, did it, throughout?
Right. So, but here, we're okay where I am here.
Yeah.
Good.
Obviously,
we might have a visitor. Hang on a minute.
Just about to say,
wait a minute, Charlie, come here. Charlie, what's the mama? Here's my baby.
Marion is known as our crazy cat lady, aren't you?
She's a mama
to our kitties.
This my baby. He's actually blind, Charlie, but he does very well.
He looks cuddly.
Did you rescue him, Marion, or was he born blind?
Say hello.
So Marion is a burnt out kitty mama, aren't you?
I'm not a burnt out cat mama, because
burnt out
never get burnt out.
Do you know what? I never forget. It was the most funniest thing. I could hear Mum talking to you. This was about 4 or 5 months ago, and Mum said, "How's your pussy?" And I was like, we were like, "Mum, you can't say." And we were saying, Mum didn't even know what she said, and I was like, "Mum, you can't say things like that." It came out the worst way.
Oh, you two are always laughing. Are you still animal sitting for the celebrities?
Yes, for various people. I haven't got so many at the moment. A lot of them have moved away. But yes, I did used to sit for a famous musician and his wife. And they'd actually left LA about 7 years ago to go to Tennessee. But he didn't have to pay so many taxes in Tennessee. So and then I had another famous film producer recently, and his wife, but they got fed up with LA, so they moved to somewhere in Hawaii. So actually, a lot of people are kind of leaving LA to go to different places. It's very expensive here. It's getting more expensive, I guess. So it's, but it's like the price of gas, petrol is expensive, more expensive here than probably anywhere in the US. So, but then we have the really good weather and a few earthquakes now and again, but knock on wood, nothing sort of serious. But it's a bit scary when the place shakes for a few seconds.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
But it doesn't happen that often. But you see, in other places, you've got hurricanes and all kinds of things, and really bad weather, floods and what have you. So I think every place has got something, sort of that you've got to worry about. But here's it's more like earthquakes. But
one thing about LA is, like what we were talking about before, you're forever young there.
Yeah, no one's over than 35.
And that's what you said, Marion, didn't you? No one's over 35 at LA. Well, even if you are,
you've got to be. It's a young, vibrant city, so you have to really kind of stay that way. Especially with what I do. I'm a trainer and fitness and stuff. So it's not. I can't be like, oh, we're going to work out today. You know what I mean? It's like, you've got to be like, hey, let's do this. It's just the way it is, really. But I think it's a good thing, because and I think it's important to take care of yourself and eat the right foods, and because it makes you feel better. And working out, it's good mentally.
It is.
I think too.
I remember when I came out there, obviously it's so big, LA. You've got obviously the Hollywood Hills, you've got Malibu, you've got mid Hollywood. You've got so many parts of it. But I remember everybody being quite healthy, and you had the best salad shops. And I was like, I love the salads out there. It was just. There's something for everybody. And obviously you've got the party side, but then you've obviously got the health side. Everybody's very ambitious. Is the film industry out there still very strong, or is it changing a little
I
bit?
think it's dropped off a bit in actual filming, because a lot of the units are going elsewhere to film, actually, because it's cheaper. Like going to places like Atlanta or Canada. Like I don't know if you watch Virgin River over there on Netflix.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. That is supposed to take place in a place called Humboldt County in Northern California, but it's actually filmed in Vancouver. So, because it's cheaper for them to fly everyone up to Vancouver. So, there's people tell me in the industry there's not a lot happening at the moment, and I think a few years ago there was strikes, like the writers' strike and all that sort of thing. So that affects things. So, I think it's nothing much really, I don't think, happening at this point. It's just sort of,
Would you come back to the UK? Would you come back to the UK?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Hell no.
No.
Well, no, because, because I'm all set up here. And, I wouldn't probably be able to afford the lifestyle that I used to have when I was, lived outside of London now, because I'm sure it's very expensive there. I think houses and stuff. I mean, I lived in sort of nice places and used to go, into town and go and see shows and what have you. And I don't know. I don't know if it's safe to get on a train there anymore and going to London.
It's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, it depends on what area you're in. I suppose it's like that wherever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a lot of like congestion charges now and taxes. Same probably as LA. Everything's changing.
Everything's rising in cost. Everything.
Yeah. And then don't you have to pay to drive into London now?
Yeah, you do. You have all congestion charges. There's so much. Whatever you can think of, there's tax on it, or
we'll get taxed on this podcast soon.
I know we will probably soon, or we have to pay per minute. But yeah, it's there's a lot of changes, which is why we actually set up the Burnt Out Mummas, because we are all burnt out as
working people.
I think it's juggling bills, having houses, like even if you've got a family or whatever, we're juggling a lot to try and afford lifestyles and living, because lifestyles have changed now, so it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah, and how to sort of come out of that, know that you're feeling burnt out but feeling good at the end of it, and different things to put into place, like meditation, eating well, spirituality, or anything that makes you feel good. I mean, what have you done, Marian? What's your go-to
Can I just say to Marian, actually, you remember you told me about the 21-day Deepak Chopra?
That's it.
Yeah, Marian sent it to me. Do you remember the 21-day challenge, the manifestation?
Yes. I've done it myself several times.
Yeah, Marian is so... Can you just talk about like manifesting and stuff like that? Because you inspired me so much into it as well.
Okay. That was sent to me by a friend. That one was the Deepak 21-day challenge, meditation challenge. It takes about 15 minutes a day. And so basically he covers everything. It's like you're really putting out your desires, what you want to bring into your life. And I've done it a few times, and it really works. And I think the reason, I don't think it's any magical thing. I think it's if you really put your mind to something and you keep thinking about it and meditating on it, like every day or whatever, I think whatever your thoughts are, it will come to you. Like, if there's something you want to achieve, it's like, right, this is what I want to do, and I want to do this by this date or whatever. Then you're going to do it. If you have doubts and think, I'd like to do that, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that's going to work, and I may not get it. You know what I mean? If you put out those negative thoughts, then I think it's like a downward spiral, really. I think what I used to find in England, which I don't find so much here, was sometimes people would sort of put you down a bit. Like you say, I want to do this, or I want to go there. And they go, well, you don't want to do that. That you know, sometimes people will sort of put you down. I remember when I was coming to the States, before I came, I was in Colorado before I came to LA. But I remember a friend's boyfriend, he said, "Oh, what are you going to be doing over there?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to be a personal trainer." And he said, "Oh, well, there's a million personal trainers in Los Angeles." And I said, "Oh, well, when I get there, there'll be 1,000,001."
Love it.
Sort of shut him up, you know.
Yeah.
But so people, I don't know. You just got to, I think, be very positive and not care about what anyone else says around you. Like if you have, whatever it is, it could be a new car or you want to travel somewhere or whatever you want to do. You just got to like really focus on it and not listen to other people that try. Oh, a bird just flew into my window.
Oh.
It didn't come in, fortunately. So I've got a bit of a bird phobia, but that's another story. But yeah, so I think in that particular meditation I really like, and it takes about 15 minutes a day. And
how did it help? Is there an example of what you've done that you've actually achieved, like something in your life?
Yeah, there is, because I wanted to get a vacation home on the coast up in Oregon. And I kind of, because I'd go there, on vacations, and I kind of had this, I don't know, there was a certain place where I wanted to have a home there, and eventually I'll retire there one day. But so I knew where it was, and I would just keep, thinking about it. And it was kind of, as you go into this particular town, it's kind of up on the right, just looking down a bit. So you have an ocean view, but you're not too near the ocean in case there's a tsunami. So I had this vision, and I was doing my meditations, and I'd been up and looked at a few places, and my realtor was sending me things on email. And then one Friday, and I hadn't seen anything that I liked, or you had to put in a lot of money to do it up. And so this particular Friday afternoon, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the place that I want. It's just what I want, and it's in the right spot. So I quickly called her and my, person here, and I put in an offer, and it was accepted, and it was literally just what I wanted. And the great thing about it was the man had totally, he was a builder. He'd redone everything. Everything was new, brand new.
Wow.
Absolutely, I mean, it's amazing. And then they had it, it's very nautical, blues and whites. And I love the pictures of the furniture and everything. And because I hadn't actually seen it in person, but the realtor I'd known for like about 10 years. So, we were FaceTiming, and I didn't really need to see it in person. But so I said, oh, I really love that furniture. And I said to her, maybe we can make him an offer or something. Anyway, we didn't do that. And it was about a day before we closed, or a couple of days before we closed. And she said, oh, Marian, she says, the owner, he said, is there anything in the house that you'd like? Because he would like to give it to you as a gift.
Oh,
and I'm like,
wow.
yes, I'll have it all. So I only had to buy a bed and a TV because everything else was there. And it was just like it was amazing.
It's like you manifested it all.
Yes, I know. And I didn't expect that at all. And then afterwards I realized why she, being a realtor for many years, she, I kept saying, oh, well, don't forget to ask him if he she wasn't going to ask him if I could buy anything anyway, because I'm sure she kind of knew that he's probably going to say, like, oh, would she like any of this, any of these things? So, because he didn't really use the place, it was more of just a vacation home for him as well. But yeah, so that was another thing, really. So it's very interesting when you do, and when you do manifest, but I think you've really got to believe it. And keep going at it. You can't just do it one day and then the next day think, oh no, that's not going to happen. You just have to keep going. So I would advise anyone to do that, and to work out every day and eat healthily. I'm a vegan, I've been a vegan for many years, and I think that gives you energy. I mean, like I got up at 5 this morning to get ready for this, so that was
And also, you've done it all on your own, which I love, and I
yes.
find so inspiring that you don't need somebody else to achieve your dreams. You can do it
No.
all on your own.
Mm-mm. No, and I think that I think it's better, really, in a way. You mean you can have people in your life, obviously, but I think it's more satisfying when you can do things on your own and you don't have to rely on somebody.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, really. And even if you have got someone in your life, it's also good to have another sort of avenue, if you like, or something that you do just yourself, not the other person.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
So it's. I think it's important and very satisfying, really.
I want to give you a hug because we can see you on the Zoom, but
it's so hard, and it's just the distance.
No,
I know we're all near. We would see each other.
We must come and visit you again.
I'm desperate to come to your Oregon place.
I'm going to come out.
You've got to. You've got to come up there.
Get Mum to come out to LA because she's still not come, has she?
No.
I know. I mean, she should just put her on a plane.
That's what
give us some tranquilizers and put her on a plane.
I know. What was it when you went on the plane with Mum? She had a panic attack and she started screaming. Was it with you, Marian?
No, it wasn't. She was fine with me.
Oh, with someone.
I don't remember her. When we flew several times to Spain and Malta. In fact, once we were flying to Malta, it was on a Friday evening and it was raining really hard and it was a terrible flight. It was probably one of the worst turbulent flights that I've ever had. And the plane was literally going up and down and side to side. And we were both sitting there. And I remember the flight attendant was sort of walking down to check on people. And we said to him, oh, we're really scared. And he said, so am I.
Oh my God.
The worst thing someone could tell you.
I'm surprised Mum got.
I think we got a couple of brandies. I think we said, can we have a couple of brandies? That's when they used to give away those little bottles of brandies.
Yeah,
and we landed and it was pouring with rain and you had to walk into the airport. And I remember it seemed like there was about an inch of water on the tarmac. And we found out the next morning that there was a plane after us that was going to be landing, and the pilot refused to land, and he took the people to Tunis instead. And we're like, oh my God, our plane landed, and the next flight he refused to land there. So that was pretty scary. But she was fine. I mean, we just were giggling.
You
really.
were probably so drunk, weren't you?
Yeah, we were after that.
Were you a Playboy bunny with Mum? Did you work in the
No,
London
I didn't actually do that. No, and she's still got. I remember a beautiful emerald green.
We've got them both frames.
Yeah,
You've got
outfit.
one. Yeah, the original outfits and the tokens. I don't even know what they're valued at, but I said you can never sell them because that's a part of history that you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her that I think she should get it. She should work out and be able to get into that costume again.
Yeah, she needs to.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Slimming World.
Her a long time.
Well, no, when I last spoke to her a few weeks ago, I said, I'm going to talk to you in a month. And I was telling her some stuff to do and everything. So we'll see.
She was like a size 6, wasn't she, back in the day? She was size 8. She was tiny. Those costumes, I can't even get my leg in.
No, neither can I. We can't really talk because we can't get in them costumes.
She's doing well. She's lost half a stone. We're on the journey together, me and Mum. So
good. But I keep telling her, I said, we could do a Zoom workout. Because I do that with some of my clients. We like here, we're working out and doing stuff, and I can keep an eye on them.
I'm sure our Burnt Out Mummas will love that.
We should do that.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
We should do it for our Burnt Out
Instagram
Mummas.
Live.
Yeah, we'd love it. Oh, Marian, it's so nice to have you on.
You met my baby. He's very sweet, Charlie.
He's lovely.
So
we're going to get a doggy soon. I think we want to get brothers, like little. We like the Italian. Is it grey?
Yeah, Italian greyhounds. We love them.
Oh, you want to get an Italian greyhound?
The little ones, the baby ones. Are they the baby
Oh, I didn't know they do a smaller version.
Yeah. And I
Oh my
just love the
God.
temperament, and we want one. Well, we want two that get on well, so we can mix
Walk
them when
together.
we're working and walking. And
We're just waiting for the baby to come out first, and then a doggy
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Doggy. Oh, so thank you so much, Marian, for coming
I know,
on.
it was fun.
And it was so nice, like, to your journey and like your positivity and your energy.
And that
is
you're
just
still
amazing.
manifesting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
At 35.
Yes.
At 35, you are
Something else
35.
to manifest now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, and say bye to Charlie for us.
Bye,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Pussycat.
Listen.
Bye.
Bye, Marian.
Bye, Marian.
Oh, we'll
Lots
speak
of love.
offline.
Yeah, we'll speak offline. See you
Yeah,
later.
talk soon. Bye.
If you're loving the show, don't forget to download our latest episodes. It helps us a ton by boosting the show and making sure more people find us.
Plus, you can listen anytime, anywhere, even offline.
And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a new drop.
Want even more behind-the-scenes content? Follow us on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok at Burnt Out Mummas, one word, for exclusive clips, updates and fun extras.
Hit that follow button, send us a message, and let's keep the Burnt Out Mummas community going.